Dota fans, that's an old line. Hi, I'm Toby1. I am, oh wait, hang on. I'm going to click on the screen to say hi to everyone inside of Dota TV. Welcome. We're doing Vega vs Team Empire. I'm Toby1. I am joined by Fogged.
I was waiting for you to introduce me.
Well, I was getting there. I realized I did the introduction for the stream first, and then I didn't have Dota TV clicked on. Because when I'm clicked out, that Dota TV audio stops working for some unknown reason.
Fair enough.
Yes, but we're here for you inside the game as your official casters for our winners bracket final between Vega as well as Team Empire. The victor will dodge the lower bracket final matchup with potential elimination from the TI qualifier. Only one team will get to move forward from the CIS qualifiers. Will it be Vega? Will it be Empire? Or will it be one of the other two teams still remaining in the competition?
Don't know.
We
haven't really gotten a chance to watch too much CIS. Been doing mostly Europe. I got to do Empire Spirit before. Empire looked pretty good. They've had some really good execution. I like their drafts overall. They got Razor both games. I know they really like the Razor. That'll probably be something that happens here. Vega, on the other hand, I haven't gotten a chance to see them since a couple months now, since Dream League, I don't believe. So
Andy was telling me about their play earlier today, and first game wasn't too great for them, but after that it seemed to be very dominant, including the third game. They won. They won their third game in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was.
That was probably what
very good for them.
On the back of what Seoma probably played super well, because I feel like every time I watch Vega do incredibly well, it's Seoma. Slayer, at least his name is tagged in now. He has some very good moments on his roaming. Sometimes everything just goes right and he's involved in like every single kill. And they have some strong laners. Like they have their cores are very good. Like G has always been very stable mid laner. Afterlife has always been one of my favorite CIS players actually in his offlane role. And he always tends to like make people ban versus him all the time. Like his Legion Commander was something people used to fear a lot. And then we have, you know, Aloha Dance, of course, or the real you on the carry. So he's the one that he's a great player as a carry, but I feel like sometimes he falls into like his emotional period maybe. So like at least from what I've seen with Vega, they fall into this trap sometimes where after laning phase they just like battle to sometimes where it's like, man, they're fighting way too much for their lineup, but they're like locked in that mindset, and I think he's one of the ones that maybe can cause that to happen, but who knows because we're not in the whole thing with them. But
yeah, well we'll get to study them during the course of this series.
Yeah.
Ban wise, nothing's that unusual. Night Stalker and Clockwork and Nyx Assassin have probably been the most up there as far as it goes as interrupting supports that rotate around. Train Protector more of a safety thing. Venomancer is one of the most picked here. I haven't had a single game where Venomancer has not been involved. Either he's been first ban material or he's been picked. It's always happened with this guy.
The hero is very strong, getting massive buffs throughout all the patches. Recently got the Agi buff, he got like Poison Sting got slightly rescaled, it scales a bit better now. Yeah, he's just a really obnoxious, toxic hero. Play on words with Venom, sure. But no, he really is. Like he's super obnoxious to play against, and he can just park himself in a lane and be just fine. And then Vega gets their Sanking, which I feel like just glancing at Vega's recent games, they played Sanking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of their like 9 games or something. So they usually play with either Train Protector or Sanking. So strong opener by Vega, having good team fight.
Interesting to see how Venomancer does against a Darkseer. If you got really good ward control, killing off the Darkseer like Iron Shell creep shouldn't be too difficult.
But after a couple levels, yeah.
Yeah, after a couple of levels. Like the Darkseer Iron Shell early on, you're not going to care about as much.
Yeah.
Just because it's like standard last hitting. That's fine.
Yeah, you're a ranged hero.
Yeah.
You can't really push the wave out too well early, but a couple levels on the Venom, and then he can actually deal with the Darkseer. I think we'll probably see Empire run some kind of like aggressive lane with it though, at least some dual aggro with the Darkseer, from what they've done in the past.
So you expect something more like, I don't say a Spirit Breaker, but something along those lines that can get in the face of Venomancer?
It's like there's two heroes. It's either they go for like a Spirit Breaker and a pressuring thing, or they just go for Disruptor, because this is CIS, right? We're playing. Yeah. There's gonna be a Disruptor, especially when there's a Darkseer.
I suppose if you are running a melee Disruption against a Venomancer, that's not going to end too well for you, so Disruptor does sound better. But both Disruptor as well as Ancient Apparition, you're going to be very low on your stuns.
Yeah, we saw that combo like a long time ago. People were running like a Disruptor because there's a lot of damage between the two when you do make rotations, but they're not really good at rotations, and they both need their 6, and they're pure magic damage oriented. So it's a little awkward because you don't have that, you know, what we've been seeing, that melee tanky frontlining guy with their backup of their like true support hero, but could work. And yeah, it's CIS, so Disruptor is like the most contested support hero between these
Well, they're thinking about their next spam. If we assume this is a 1-position Venom and a 4-position SK, then they actually take out the Disruptor themselves.
Okay, so they ban it. Maybe because they don't have the first pick, and Vega loves Disruptor too. They were like, oh, we have Darkseer. Disruptor is one of the better heroes versus Darkseer in general. And they're AF Sanking, so Sanking Disruptor is just a very strong duo. So
Hey man, Vega's on dire.
Vega is on dire.
They could run as 3-position SK, 4-position Venom.
I mean, they could. It's extremely unlikely though.
It's... I'm just waiting for one team to do it where it's like, you know, we need to open up space. Venom is great at 1, but I'd really like to have somebody else who isn't so one-dimensional, which I find the Venomancer does become after a while. So you need to be a little bit more dynamic in the way it picks, but I also understand why it's a 1-position.
Yeah.
Really good levels, but you can get a lot of it out of the Ancients.
Yeah.
It's just a struggle for the early levels. As long as you don't get contested, you're fine. But nope, it'll be a Lion pickup.
Whoa, that's a change. Don't think they've played that at all. They have not. Oh no, they played it 1 game with Darkseer. But
good Hex,
okay.
good Disable.
Good Disable.
Good burst damage against the backline, but then again, Ancient Apparition's probably not going to care so much. Maybe it's like maybe it's to counter something Team Empire was looking at.
Just having Disables is good. I think they know the way that Empire plays a lot too. Empire's been running like Puck, Storm, a lot of Storm for FN, so having this line dissuades a lot of those type of elusive heroes.
Maybe able to also catch out those heroes who keep relying on Lincoln Spheres to escape all the time.
Yeah, I think Lion's a hero that gets kind of slept on sometimes just because, you know, his ulti at level 1, it's like super high cooldown, and then the mana cost on the hero is high.
But at level 3, the cooldown is ridiculously good.
Once you get your levels online, but...
Like, it's 40 seconds? It's, yeah, it's 40 seconds at level 3.
So, okay, so we kind of expected something like this. Either the dual pressure with the Darkseer Spirit Breaker, or the Disruptor, so they go for the Spirit Breaker.
It's kind of dangerous, but not as dangerous. Both SK as well as Lion have these kind of like line stuns. So it's not the instant grab like you get from someone like a Rubik, for example. And Rubik's actually one of the other good ones to go against a Venomancer before he hits 25. Just because you can turn the Venomancer power against him.
Yeah, originally and you have no field for the ultimate later.
I was never much of a fan of it, mainly because the Poison Sting, it used to not be applied to Plague Wards.
Yeah.
And now it is. They actually modified it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Rubik would be lovely. He is Sanking Stun, Lion Stun, Venomancer spells too, but
they can't
pick it anymore. Yeah.
So Vega need to pick up a core. And if they pick up a support, then we know SK may in fact be running.
10 seconds.
Vega does have the last pick, so this will probably be their offlane hero that they grab here. Try to save G for a matchup. So they go for Tusk. So now it's probably the Sanking on the 3. Yep.
So SK3, Veno 1, Lion and Tusk gotta roam around.
Yep.
Tusker, a nice hero as well. Spirit Breaker now doesn't have a guaranteed attack when the Tusker's on the field, with the safety of the Snowball. Doesn't have a good counter again to the Spirit Breaker, however.
Yeah. Tusk is pretty good versus it though, but Tusk versus AA is quite nice for the save. If people do get hit by that Ice Blast, they're going to be able to snowball and try to re-engage.
By the way, just a reminder as well, if you do want to go check it out, you may have just missed the most awesomest black hole that Skylark was able to just achieve. So if you want to go check out the other games as well, I know we only have we have the least viewers on this stream. 1,000 on our BTS 5 Vega vs Empire game. But Mouse Sports versus Team Dog is currently going on for the European Winners Bracket Final, I believe. Actually, that's a semi. That's a semi.
I think it's a semi. Yeah.
That's the semi. Game 3 of the semi.
But it looks like it looks like a pretty good game.
Yeah. So just a reminder, you can go check that one out, and North America will be firing up.
Toby got distracted. He hears a black hole. He sees a black hole. He's like, ooh.
I saw a 4-man black hole on Roshan. Like my Spidey senses were most definitely tinkling.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Alright, Team Empire. So you got a whole bunch of initiation. They need some kind of... Well, they need some evasion against this. Someone who can actually tank if you get hit by the Venomancer. Deal with the burst damage. Is Terrorblade out of the realm of possibility? I'm thinking when you get initiated on, you can at least like Sunder, and they need some push.
There's too much AoE already, and Lion is very good versus Terrorblade. You get so much gold from the illusions just from mana draining them over and over again. Empire goes for DK this time. They have the Dark Seer ready. Like, this is like a nice little timing push that they can go for. Just a durable hero that builds pipe that we've been seeing a lot. The Dragon Knight pipe, very good versus the Venomancer, great versus sinking. So thinking back to the Tusk, I was sitting there trying to think of like the reason. So it's like a save mechanic. I think is probably the biggest thing that they picked it for versus the AA. Like if Veno gets focused down, they actually have something to bring him out of all that focus fire. So Vega does ban out the Arc Warden, the Chappie hero. People have actually been banning it. At least the last series was banned both games versus Empire, and Empire has ran it a couple times in the past. Other than that, I think I've seen Chappie play exclusively on the Razor. At least the games that I saw him on. He has played a couple different ones, but
in this game, Razor would be a very dangerous thing. You could get kited pretty heavily.
Yeah,
with him.
I don't like it this game. I'm not a huge fan of it at all. I mean, there's a lot of targeted spells though with the Sanking Line and Tusk, but so your unstable current could be quite relevant. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to kite him out. And
well, they banned the Templar Assassin. That would have given a good tempo controller for Vega in the mid. But also with a Venomancer, they can go for the slow scalers.
I'm still surprised they banned the TA, especially when they have Darkseer and Spirit Breaker on the same team. And they so back to basics, boys. Chappie PA, one of his old favorites. Good way to get into the back lines, to get right on top of the Venomancer without any hesitation with the Spirit Breaker.
Do you go for God's Lena? And the reason I'm thinking of is like with a double burst damage directly at the PA, you can't evade that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Lena looks pretty decent. The PA can jump on your face though, and they don't really have a frontliner right now for Vega is the one concern I would think. Yeah,
it would have to end up becoming the SK as well as the
They
Tusker.
do not have a lot of time. They have 3 seconds to pick.
Yeah. 0.
They randomed. They definitely randomed.
You can't take that back.
They definitely randomed.
It hit 0 seconds, so that is a random.
And they're not picking any heroes, so that's more of a telltale sign to me that they random.
They're just like, oh, winners bracket final, and you just randomed?
Well, I would definitely go for Empire's draft here.
I mean,
it's a Pudge Veno core now versus PA Dragon Knight Darkseer.
Oh my god, what do you do with this one?
I think they're gonna try to get something happening. They're literally not picking any of their heroes.
Do you like 5-man Tusker Snowball, try and find kills, then run like Lion in the mid?
You have to
do you actually Lion in the mid?
I mean, Pudge isn't terrible as like a mid laner. He can work in some matchups versus Dragon Knight. Like DK is so tanky. He's so durable, you can't really chase him out. But they do have the Tusk Snowball with Rot now. But I'm like, that has to be a random.
It looks so much like a random. And, well...
G Tusk.
It's Afterlife on the Pudge. It is God on Tusker. Silent is Lion. No. They all got randomly assigned.
They paused. Yeah, they randomly assigned.
They randomly assigned at the very, very end. I think they're going to be sitting there going, guys,
can we
done fucked up.
They might be asking Empire because these guys like know each other. They might be asking for a favor.
Yeah,
be like,
but
hey guys, can we
there's
like
no all
please?
chat, so the lobby host could be sitting there going, wait.
They're probably in like Skype right away or like Discord or something because there's no way that.
Maybe the draft to DC.
They want to play this
like
out.
we don't actually see if a draft to DCs.
Yeah.
So this is a possibility, and maybe that's where the Tusker also. Actually, no, we see the disconnects. Disconnects appear in the chat.
Disconnects show. I think they just ran out of time and they didn't realize how much of their extra time they used.
Oh my lord! That's what
I mean,
time. How do you play that in the rules?
It's really it's up to Empire at this point. Empire, I don't think there's any disrespect to Empire if they say no, you keep your draft. I mean, Vega messed up. They made a huge mistake. Clearly, if this was, I mean, it's more like 90% chances was a random.
Like the only reason why it would be okay is the fact that Vega had 5th pick, so that it's not like Empire revealed anything before they had their last pickup.
Yeah,
like. They saw the entire board, and then the random happened.
I mean, there's like it's this lineup for Vega. If this is what they have to keep, it's super hard for them to win this game.
Yeah,
they need to like snowball out of control in the early game, and then still
literally.
Yeah, I mean, it's still looking like impossible versus the lineup that they're playing versus. So we'll see what ends up happening. Is Empire going to show mercy?
There's so much on the line.
I don't think you show mercy. No way.
Like it's one of those times too where you almost want the admin to step in, so Empire doesn't have to be the bad guy in this situation.
I don't think they would. I don't think that they would be the bad guy.
No,
it's Vega. You have a time limit for a reason. Like that's. Yep. It can happen.
You ran out. A random happens. It's either that or you can have 4 heroes. Which one would you rather take? You'd rather take a random hero like a Pudge. But what a brutal situation to be in.
They're definitely having talks.
They're not. They're not
We'll see.
disconnecting, so that's the reason why we're still in
Yeah.
this. But oh boy, you could switch it up technically.
So FN has left the game. So I think we might be having a remake, perhaps. Looks like Ghost Stick as well. Yeah, it looks like it's a remake. So Empire maybe being merciful. If they are, holy shit, Vega, you guys have to give these guys.
What happens in the Well, that's not the one I want. Like, none of this should be secret anyway. Whatever is said.
Wow, though. If I guess Empire is just a lot of respect between these two teams. Just
Because I also want to have the answer to this. Was it random, and what happens from here? I think they're pretty simple questions. God.
good for Empire though. I mean, that's respectable if they do give them the remake. That they give them the remake, if that's the case. If maybe it was the admin who decided it, but either way, we'll look at it.
We're going to try to get SF instead of random hero.
Yeah. I mean, SF looks like a much better hero.
It really, really does.
But it doesn't really solve their problem of what we were saying, where they don't have a big frontliner. He can be a big hero that you revolve around though. So
but
if they can make him have a good game, then SF can be that frontliner for the Venomancer. But
it was a Dota 2 bug.
oh, okay.
Really?
So I guess it was a bug that ended up happening instead of that. So okay,
we bugged to Pudge.
cool.
All right.
Anyway, that's even better to hear.
Cool.
That it's not like Empire being put in a weird situation where they have to say something. So that's cool. Okay. Nice. Vega gets some luck.
That is very, very... I'm actually wondering exactly like how that bug went down. Like I'm clicking.
So it looks like we have to redo CM for the stats.
Okay, then ban random heroes. Meepo is banned in the first phase. It's for the stats, boys.
Yeah.
It's all for the stats.
So, okay, so then they have Shadow Fiend, Tusk, Veno, Lion, and Sanking. Good thing I have memory.
I'm calling it. It's gonna happen. Alright. Well, I'm kind of sad now because I always wanted to see Vega try and do it with a random Pudge. I kind of wanted to see if they could achieve it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather see them play a real like this is.
I also would probably see that, but
it's like upper semifinals, whatever. Like,
if they got it,
it's too important.
If they got it, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, it's too important. Like, got to give them a little bit of leeway. But that being said, like, if it was a random, I would have not given any no negative anything toward Empire if they would have told them to keep the hero because you know the stakes are too big.
I am interested exactly what the bug is. Like,
I don't know.
We haven't had.
Let's see if anybody. I don't know if maybe the.
Yeah, if anyone in the chat actually understands what. Like, we got a 5-minute delay, but
yeah,
we hit it pretty early on, and we only just got told it was a bug, so you have to wait like 3 minutes or so. But we can welcome everyone inside of Dota TV who has now joined us again for Vega versus Team Empire. This is going to be game 1 of our best of 3 winners bracket grand final. I am Toby1, joined by Fog, and now that we've done the introductions, we're here again doing the entire draft again because Vega bugged out in the end. They meant to pick an SF, so we can predict SF 5th pick from Vega is coming. We are amazing. They randomly got a Pudge given to them last time.
So we'll see the same heroes get picked up really quickly through this draft. People who are tuning in right now, there was a random from Vega, the random Pudge according to a Dota 2 bug that they say. So they have rehosted, and we are going quickly through the bans and picks again.
Well, Faceless Void Ember. What was the fourth one? It took a while to ban it last time.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I don't think Empire remembers, or else they would have done it already. It definitely wasn't a Broodmother.
Lion.
We understand the picks at least.
It was Disruptor last. It was the top Disruptor.
Yeah, true. It was Disruptor.
Either way, same heroes.
So now we get the Tuskar for Vega. Team Empire got their DK. And then the last bans, and then we have our SF
And PA.
and PA. So, overall, really looks like a very strong lineup for Team Empire. They have a nice mix of magical burst as well as the ability to stop regeneration. Vega have really nice team fight. Some really good burst damage between the Lion as well as the SF. And then some crowd control from the Tuskar. But they are a little weak when it comes to their heroes, especially going up against a highly farmed PA will be very difficult for them.
Shadow Fiend can snowball out of control, but playing Shadow Fiend versus Spirit Breaker, DK, PA, these three heroes get in your face very quickly, especially with Darkseer too. It can be a bit hard. That being said, though, Vega, I think overall their lineup looks a little bit better throughout the whole thing, just because I don't really like PA too much of as a hero. I think it takes a long time to get online, and you can get punished really heavily versus Venomancer as well. You can lose all your towers and be under a lot of pressure, and Shadow Fiend wins this mid matchup too versus Dragon Knight. So we'll see how much Roger's able to do as the Spirit Breaker, but he could be the big influence into Empire's game.
How does PA fare up against SF? Like, would you think about lane rotations at all? Just so you get a better matchup?
What, PA versus Shadow Fiend mid?
Yeah.
I mean, you can
if he's able to get,
CIS, but you get, at level 3, you're pretty much just daggering creeps. You can get good rotations, though. Like, you can gank the SF easier with the PA, but then you have a safe lane Dragon Knight, and that sounds awkward.
Yeah.
Even though we did see an off-lane Dragon Knight last game, you didn't get to see that one. But
I did not. How did that work out?
he actually did fairly well as off-lane Dragon Knight. It was DK Phobos playing it, and he didn't die like in laning phase or anything, so it was interesting. But yeah, this time we'll see just the standards coming out. DK mid, PA safe.
Just want to watch those early wards, see if anyone scouts at anyone doing any shenanigans.
So I think the scary thing for me is
Scattered and scattered.
they're going to have to do a lot bottom to make sure that this Senking doesn't bully PA. So I think AA needs to start down there for sure, but AA can't really zone Senking too easily alone. Daggers can help, but yeah, Senking should get a good amount down there.
That's a nice sentry. This is actually going to mean...
Oh, it actually gets it, so he gets a soul.
Yeah, it's not even just the soul. They also understood exactly where the other Observer Ward went down. Spirit Breaker was scouted out by Silence movement to the top lane, so they understand that this camp is blocked out.
Oh, man.
And
So they're going to get double D ward.
Yeah, but they're pinging that the ward is here. So if they think that, they may try and run like the lower sentry ward, and then it may clip the ob still.
Most teams, I mean, I don't know if most teams do it, but most teams should be placing that upper sentry ward, because the upper sentry gets majority of the block spots, that top one, because most people do. It's pretty much right where that obs is where you put the sentry, just a little bit higher, and it covers most of the points that people do block the camp.
Do you not worry about like a ward just becoming like a vision ward, one a little bit further down south?
I think they know that the camp is blocked, though, right?
Yeah, but you could also do that off to the side, or
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they had to wait for the courier to be done. It's only bringing out a clarity, so Silence going to block the wave up. So they're not spending the 100 gold. In fact, they may not even. Yeah, they don't even have the 100 gold on the supports to do it.
What the?
So they can't get rid of it yet.
Interesting. So G brings out 2 salves for Shadow Fiend.
He must be looking to get very aggressive against the DK and win this lane hard.
That's usually surprising, though, especially if you're playing versus like a DK. You're not going to get harassed very much, so... Okay, well, whatever.
Oh.
Just a bit different.
Take what he can get.
Seoma starts mid, and they start an aggro tri-lane with the PA in the aggro. So they're putting the Darkseer in a 1v1 versus Senking. So that's better. That's one way to deal with what I was talking about. I was worried for the PA because I think Senking can actually bully him quite a lot, but now lane swapped up. Afterlife, though, should be able to do really well with this. Especially now that he double stacked the wave up, so he's going to be messing with Ghost Stick a bit, but he'll have a lot of creeps under his tower.
They're rotating Slayer out. they're pushing him towards the top lane.
Yep.
And they have to, because Miposhka was just able to double stack the small camp on the side and pull it over. Okay, now Miposhka, a little bit of trouble, but the charge onto the Venomancer. He's only got Gale, and it's level 1 Gale, so it's harassment, but minimal damage. Miposhka, you've got charge available in 1 second time. They do have that vision on Slayer thanks to the Observer Ward that's still down. And the Dire have actually now just blocked this camp up. So it was able to double stack, but then they threw the Observer Ward out. Shards already.
Dead.
You got Gale available. Miposhka can't get out of this one. The double stun from Silent going through Roger and Miposhka. You'll lose Slayer for it. So it is a 1-for-1 trade-off. But Slayer did take the first blood. And DK's having a great time in mid.
Yeah, he's doing super well. That's what I was looking at as well. 13-1.
G really hasn't made the most out of this salve.
I mean, that's why I was just concerned, but not concerned, but just confused by why he got 2. One of them is fine because you're gonna have to use it anyway to heal up, but
yeah, the second one's just a little bit more odd because he could have turned that into some form of damage or
earlier
attack.
bottle or like earlier boots. I mean, it's whatever at this point.
Miposhka's in trouble again. Trapped by another shards. The SB's charging himself over. The damage, however, to Miposhka is also so high. They'll chilling touch up, so Chappie's got some bonus damage. The Gale connects on 2, and now they're slowed up. Silence gone for the Hex to begin with. PA, Phantom Strike will bring him down closer to Roger, but the shards go through him, and Roger cannot escape from this. Vega is having the time of their lives. An Empire aggro tri-lane was meant to spill blood, not of their own.
They have to get out of that lane already. I think it's too hard anyway. You're playing with a double melee tri-lane with a very squishy AA versus a very tanky lane. The Lion is the only squishy hero, but he's going to be playing so far back, and then you can't go on Venomancer because they have Tusk. So this tri-lane is already a nightmare for Empire, and they must make adjustments.
I suppose the one advantage was the fact that you didn't have, bottom lane, Afterlife.
Iron Shaw and Roger, but
yep.
He stunts away.
The upside is the fact you didn't have the Tusker rotating to kill off DK. So you had SF having more space, you had FN having more space in the mid lane just because your aggro tri-lane was keeping that attention towards the north. That's the upside.
Yeah.
The downside is now the Venomancer's got some decent cash on him, even though he's only got 4 assists to his name, and the supports have also got real good money on them.
Yeah.
And Ghost's got enough Iron Shell levels that it's problematic for the Venomancer to deal with.
Sayoma.
Oh, that bash.
Oh, the
it
bash
actually helps him, but the Orb of Venom slow, the shards are down,
Yeah.
the damage is enough with Chilling Touch bonus on it.
Whew. Oh, just enough damage. G
FN.
getting aggressive onto FN here, but FN's just fine. Third raise would not bring him down. But yeah, G pulling a little bit ahead in that mid lane in experience. He's level 5. A little bit ahead of FN, but the last hits going for the DK. Pretty impressive. That 2-1-2 skill build just makes it too hard for you to actually get harassed. But now Sayoma in the mid lane. They don't... Actually, they should have
They gotta feel safe.
but the charge is coming out now.
The Observer Ward's there. Tusker, Snowball, defense, just stunning onto the Spirit Breaker. There's no more mana on him, and God goes onto the tower. Shards does not block in FN. It was right on the edge. If it did, God could have turned into a double raise and just destroyed him under the tier 1.
3-man rotation from Empire unsuccessful as well. Top lane, Silent getting a wraparound onto Ghost Stick. They do not have kill opportunity onto him, but it's just going to harass him a little bit.
Silent's actually going to be careful not to feed a kill to the Darkseer. Gets burned down by Iron Shell. He doesn't have the movement speed on the Darkseer, which is boots versus boots.
Bottom lane, charge, Afterlife.
This time you won't get a
dead.
burrow out. Oh! No.
Dead. Okay.
Stifling Dagger from Chappie is able to reach him. But still, 5 minutes in, good kills across the board. Definitely gonna be happy if you're Vega about your safe lane, but corrections need to kick in against the mid. Something needs to be done about this DK.
I mean, the DK is like not the biggest thing. It's just they need to keep their the levels up on their supports is the big thing. They need to keep up with the enemy supports, the Sayoma and Lion, because Spirit Breaker and AA have had a little bit more success after leaving that lane.
Slayer missed it again.
Just off the mark.
Yeah, no, we're really committing now. There's 4 heroes coming in. SK was just in the neighborhood because he wanted a bottle refill for the SF, but Lion was also wrapping around from the north.
Yep. Killing DK is great. Like, especially if you see DK hit 6. If he uses Dragon Form, then you kill him. That's massive. But killing him is very nice. Afterlife now versus Roger. Roger just TP's out after getting stunned.
Didn't have mana for a charge away.
Now
And
the
there was
top
2
lane,
points up in Caustic Finale, which could have been a real problem.
maybe this is where they get Ghostic. They have a ward on the high ground too. The charge is coming out from Roger. Ghostic getting engaged on.
Hey, Surge, but it's a level 2 Surge. The Hex already slowed him up for a little bit, but Chappie, TP's over. Spirit Breaker's charging forward. Ghostic just giving the Iron Shell up. He'll lose his life, but he's going to give the extra damage that Chappie requires to try and find the kill. It won't be on Tusker, who will TP away to safety. And thanks to Silence Observer, he knows exactly what he's up against.
Will the dagger get him? They have a charge as well in a second. They lose vision though, and he's able to scurry away.
I thought for a moment that Chappie would try and Phantom Strike ahead so he could get the dagger off.
Yeah, maybe it was a possibility.
Would have been enough of a slow for potentially Spirit Breaker to close the distance.
So they do lose their Venomancer, but they get the kill and they claim the tower.
Yeah.
Even though it is denied.
Getting some good damage into the mid tower now, Team Empire.
Yeah, that is the one fear of when Shadow Fiend goes to jungle. Of course, they want to have like the Tusk or someone take the mid experience, but you're playing versus Dragon Knight, so if you do go jungle too much, you're going to lose your tower. So I think G should probably stay in near that mid lane more.
Roger was
now.
starting the charge. Now he's right behind the tower.
Oh,
It's
he's dead.
surrounded by 3 heroes. Double raises from God allows him to get the kill with the control from his teammates. Wonderful thing for an SF. Come back to the lane, get yourself a bit of a clarity, get yourself a kill.
I like the adjustment here by Aloha, or the real you. Top lane, they already claimed the tower, so he's out. He just goes bottom and starts planting the Venom wards and pressuring tower very quickly.
Silence gonna be happy again. He found the Observer Ward from Team Empire inside their own jungle.
Oh, he did get that one ward.
Yeah,
That was a fresh ward as well.
Yeah, it was very, very fresh. So, able to get rid of that one. With a tier 1 tower dropping, you protect the flash farm areas of SF. You know there's no block on the camp. And the more towers you take, the better it is for the Venomancer. You can play for that big team fight kind of push. I'm interested to see his item build. Like, if you go for the Veil, or if you try and get the mech.
I love the Veil this game. On the Venomancer, you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, nice snowball.
Oh, Chappie.
Hold him there. The epicenter. Oh, shards. Locks
Oh,
them
locks
both
in
in.
both.
This time, Slayer's going to hit the mark. Unfortunately, he'll lose his life for it. If they can keep the control up, here comes Spirit Breaker charging forward. The Burrow Strike with Caustic and the Plague Ward down. They have enough damage to split the kills between the 2 of them, but Iron Chill on the Spirit Breaker, burning down the Venomancer. His Gale's back
Oh,
on
the
cooldown.
block!
He blocks it, then Gale's it. Roger's stuck. He'll charge himself forward, however. Can they keep the slow up? They cannot do enough. The one last Lantern Punch will do the work, but Afterlife now going one-on-one with the Spirit Breaker. One charges, trying to get enough mana for a Burrow Strike, but he's taking too much damage from the Iron Shell, so they rely on Slayer, fresh from death, back to the Wall of the Living to come down and finish off the Spirit Breaker. But they're not done yet. Dire Observer Ward scouts out the smoke of Maposhka as well as Chappie. Either they look for a kill, Dire scan, and they're working out if he's coming north, or if they're going towards the SF, and Silence gone. Straight out. And wisely joins the rest of his team on top of the shrine. No need to go home.
Yep. Nice plays there by Vega, getting that nice dive coming up. But yeah, I think this game,
They
the
smoked
Veil, another smoke under a ward.
Yeah, they smoked up underneath the Radiant Observer Ward.
Yeah. I think the Veil this time, though, for the Venom makes a lot of sense. They have Shadow Fiend, Lion, and Sand King, so they already have a lot of magic damage with it. He also needs armor versus PA. So I think that's probably like the best pickup for him this game.
So where do you get your regen from? Lion, that Impale won't reach that far. He knows it. But they just instead assault the mid lane.
Yep.
So at this point I kind of almost want to see like the real you just put a Plague Ward up on the hillside. Keep the vision up with the Plague Wards, make sure that Empire just cannot attack in.
Yeah, it's hard for Empire to fight, though. Without AA Blast, it's very difficult for them to really go for those engagements. And they know that the Dragon Knight's top with his DK form, so... And they already saw PA, too, so they have to port like multiple heroes to get in there, but... Yeah, it's very tough. PA, only level 7, just hits level 7 now at 10 minutes on the carry. So he's a bit under-leveled on that Phantom Assassin.
He's 1,000 net worth as well behind the Venomancer. Even SK has more net worth than the Phantom Assassin at the moment. And that's dangerous for Afterlife getting an early Blink Dagger. We're 11 minutes in and he's got 1860 gold.
This is definitely a bit alarming right now for Empire. When they have a Dragon Knight and they're losing, they've given up all 3 of their first towers.
Well, Tuskar's finally going to get levels, but only because of Tome.
I mean, look at where
11 minutes in, and he's level 4.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now hits 5.
It's okay, but because he's been making a lot of the moves running around, and they gave the Lion the lane, so Lion got a relatively early 6, and Sayoma,
They found him.
He's sometimes a sacrifice for this team.
Run away.
He doesn't have ulti on Spirit Breaker, so he's not going to commit, nor does he have Ion Shell on him. So Blink Dagger, going to be coming out for Sanking any moment now whenever he goes back and picks it up, but yeah, he hasn't finished. Sub 12-minute Blink.
How long ago did they actually change their name? Did you change his name from like
from Sayoma to
yeah.
Slayer? It had to have been pretty recent because they all added the esports bet as well to their name.
Yeah.
So I think they just changed their tag of it back. It was after Dream League, I know, because in Dream League he was called, I think he was actually just called Seema.
Yeah.
He wasn't Seema the Slayer. He was just, well, Sayoma of course, but spelled Seema.
Yeah. Just identity change towards Slayer.
Yeah,
I'll call it what he's tagged as, just in case anyone was confused. That's the only reason I bring that up.
Yeah. So Shadowblade finished up for G. Very early timing, 12 minutes. Venomancer as well has the Veil finished.
And Blink Dagger is on Afterlife, and they just
Afterlife.
found a target. They just found an FN.
They've
The
got
Imp is
all their
ruined
core
from the Lion.
items already.
They've got the Finger of Death, so there is enough burst damage they can go for this. But there's only 2 of them, and they're surrounded so heavily.
Oh,
4 heroes
They
around
might be able to
them.
get a big combo here, though, with this Invis rune. It's only got a quarter duration left. They see everybody in the back. Afterlife was spotted, though.
Chappie finally saw him. Epicenter is prepping at the moment. Afterlife blinks in, goes to the Burrow Strike. Ancient Apparition, the primary target, taking the Ice Blast out. Speaking of being taken out, Ghost Deck got exploded in the mid.
Yeah.
Finger of Death with a measly 600 damage for the level 1 ultimate.
Yeah, Empire is looking pretty grim right now for them. They don't really have heroes that can make aggressive moves. It's just like Spirit Breaker with an Ion Shell and an AA Blast to follow up. The other things that need to happen is Dragonite hitting towers, but losing all your tier 1s this early and versus the lineup that you're playing versus, Vega has very good ways to just push waves in constantly, be it the Sanking or the Shadow Fiend or the Venomancer. So it's hard for them to really get to those towers, and yeah, you see what they're doing already. They're smoking up and trying to find engagements without the PA, of course, because Chappie, I mean, Phantom Assassin takes so long to get online. That's why I'm personally not a big fan of the hero, especially in this current meta where everybody's just running at each other.
Perfect position for Slayer. Just walks away. The Iron Shell's on Roger, but he can't keep any vision up. The Ice Shards were thrown originally so he could check for Roshan, but it won't happen. They reveal PA, they reveal everybody, and now Sentry waters down, so at least the Obs and Sentry of the Dire side will be taken by Chappie.
Pretty hard for Empire to even try to pressure this tower. Like, they can hit it a bit with the Dragon Knight, and he probably will be able to bring it down and force it into a deny range, but yeah, Venowards just can stop anything else from happening. So they actually get it pretty easily, though.
Yeah, FN got it with the last tick.
He just walked up, okay.
They just attacked it. There was no real attack, it was only the real you.
Yeah, I guess it's because the Epicenter was on cooldown. Vega decided, you know what, it's not worth trying to take a fight when we don't have our big ultis. We were farming. They definitely feel like they have a bit of a lead, too, in this game so far.
FN trying to deal with all the magical. Looking to get a BKB after his armlet. How's Spirit Breaker looking? He is... Okay, let's not look at him. Mech.
He's trying.
Mech is the build for the Darkseer, and then Phantom Assassin, Desolator, before anything.
Standard build, yeah. So FN doesn't go for the hood this game. We've seen some Dragon Knights do it, but he wants to be more of a scaling core since they have PA and Dragon Knight. They don't have a... They want to be able to scare late game. Have him be a real damage dealer.
Too many people are missing from the lane. Radiant are scanning inside their own jungle, wondering if someone's crossing over, and that is the case. Shadowblade being used by God. Chappie's going to go to the tree line and TP out very quickly. Nothing will cancel that. Everyone was too far away. But this is when the pressure's going to come once more.
Vega being the aggressors, though. Empire unable to really get any big aggressive moves, and their team fight is not nearly as powerful as Vega's is. And Vega's farming very well. Like, even this Lion, who we could have thought was the 5, he's actually become the 4 entirely. He's level 8. He's 800 gold from Blink Dagger already. So they're gonna have lots of different follow-up for the Sanking. And now they're just wailing on a tier 2. It's uncontested. G just brings it down by himself.
Yeah. God, there's a lot of damage up his sleeve. Venomous just get farming. he was sitting inside the Radiant jungle, throwing down a couple of Plague Wards, continuously farming, and then leaves a couple behind to make sure that the camps remain blocked. So, really hurting the economy of Team Empire. Overall, like, it was bouncing up and down between 5k and 4k. But the more of these towers dropping, the less Team Empire is going to control. And 16 minutes in, when you're this far behind in net worth, and the SF is also so big, I'm not certain how you're meant to fight this.
Yeah.
And
I want to see
wait,
SF
what
go
is-
for Silver Edge. Oh, he actually, I think, has it coming on the courier already.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
he
about
does.
to say, he's got an ultimate orb sitting in him, and he has BKB in his quick buy, so yeah, Silver Edge
It's
done.
amazing versus PA and Dragon Knight. I was hoping he would get it first item, and he did. So it's going to be very relevant for him to be able to bring down Chappie. Chappie's going to be, I don't know. I'm always just weirded out by PA as a hero. I see this team always pick it because I know Chappie really likes the hero, but it takes so long to get online, especially in this type of meta where people just like to pressure early. It's all about lanes. And even when you get your Desolator, sure, you can like snowball off some kills, but you can't really take fights around this Desolator because if he just gets like stunned once, he gets blown up by any kind of type of magic damage.
You can get pickoffs, but Vega have the greatest lineup in the world to survive and then also counter.
Yeah, Vega just has a very good overall drafted lineup. I mean, Poshka
Afterlife!
right next to After. They're actually right next to each other. They don't see him though. There's no vision.
Maposhka knows they're there. Like the observer what he had. Oh, he cut the wrong way. Oh, even silence to his south.
Oh my goodness.
Maposhka
is in the most precarious position ever, but
he could TP. He doesn't have to be here.
I think he wants to maybe try to throw an AA blast from behind, maybe or something when his team initiates, but oh god, they might walk by him when they retreat.
They smoke. Oh,
Slayer's gonna.
No, he's too far south. It won't break.
It didn't break. Maposhka knows something's up.
They're looking towards Roshan now.
Oh, Roger might be the culprit here.
Yeah, Roger's going to break it. They think they're inside of Roshan. Chappie gets seen first, however. Charge forward by Roger. Bouncing in towards the line. The double burrow strike. However, with the back! Three-man wall. Nova might help this out. The Ice Blast, it does hit perfectly. Nice, Maposhka. As two heroes lost for Team Empire. However, the damage is too much. God will connect on the Razors. Afterlife's control continues to go. Ghosting. The one attack from the Poison Sting is going to tick him out. Couple of chips on the back line. Afterlife does shatter. But DK as well as AA the sole survivors for Team Empire. And the SF continues to remain big.
Yeah, there's a very nice vacuum combo with the AA blast with the wall on top, but you see what happens to Chappie there. He has the Desolator finished up, Blink gets grabbed up, gets stunned, fingered, dead. Stun finger, Sand stun, and he's just dead.
This was the concern. This was the reason why we were looking at that magical burst damage that doesn't care about Silver Edge. Frees up God to focus on other targets. Silent, in he comes. Gonna get the follow-up stun. They're looking towards the PA. There's a double damage rune and Silver Edge triggered on God. They need to keep Chappie controlled, and the Burrow Strike will help do it. One attack from God almost kills him. Down to 120 HP. The charge from Roger creates a little bit more space, and God, well, they're going to work together for that one. Lion will end up falling. Roger in the trees. They just have to beat him down with the fists.
Whew. At least
But
Chappie
that is
lived.
very lucky that Chappie lived.
Yeah, Silent even blinks in because, you know, this Lion has a blink dagger already. He blinks in to try to get the finisher off onto Chappie, but Dragon Knight with an instant stun does bring him down. DK form used in that fight, unable to hit any towers with it though, so.
I like how they approach with the Maposhka. Reason why he set up for the top lane, wait for Vega to fight, and then farm the top lane while Vega are on the opposite side of the map. Yeah, Ice Blast will still be involved, but I'm wondering if he's also doing this so he can get to something like Hand of Midas and push himself up that way, or is that build kind of too late or not appropriate for this game?
If he's able to get like a big Ice Blast and he gets a big surge of gold, then maybe, but I think Glimmer Cape is a pretty good option here, so are the Force Staffs. I don't think he's going to get too many items this game on the AA though, especially when he's playing with the Spirit Breaker. He has to be very focused on getting sentries and dust versus this Shadow Fiend too.
Afterlife has an Invis rune.
Oh yeah, but there is a Darkseer coming and rotating too.
Unless Darkseer's got mech, which he does. They saw Maposhka go into the tree line.
Okay, now he's looking pretty dead if they can
Silent
find
doesn't have Finger of Death, so that's the only thing which could be problematic. Here goes your Ice Blast, and they blink over it. The charge is coming in, and I think they might realize now that that Ancient Apparition was being stalked.
Yeah.
tried to slam him down before the Spirit Breaker charged in.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Miposhka will be pretty bored of this game, just because how much reveal he has to buy. Sometimes I've seen him, at least in our last series that we did, you know, he plays like the hard 5 a lot of times for this team, but he was playing Disruptor and he like bought a full Aghanims and won them the game because of it. So there are situations where that it can happen, but this one doesn't feel like it's going to be one of them. He actually finishes up an Urn, even though I think Spirit Breaker already has one. Yes.
Full Hurricane Pike is now on the Venomancer, so we get the range damage. Interested to see too, like where he wants to go. Like he doesn't have cast range. You went for the health. You went for the 30% experience. Do you try and buff up magical on this game? Is that the way to do it? And then rely on the SF to do your physical?
I mean, he's always going to be a magical. I don't know if he goes Ags this game. I don't know if he needs it. I think he can actually be more of a physical damage dealer as well. I think the Hurricane Pike is just a natural build. Like, it's super good versus Dragon Knight, super good versus PA. Not just on yourself, but on allies. And it makes you so tanky. Like, this Veno has 2,100 health with 22 armor. It's pretty absurd to actually try to bring him down. I think he can play by ear and see what build he wants to go, but I don't think he needs to go the Ags build. It can work, but Halberd is probably better versus PA. He can even maybe get his own Silver Edge too. It's very good. Both items are super good this game versus Empire's Draft.
Diascan just pinged on Miposhka. He's here with Observer and Sentry Ward. Question is, does anyone really want to try and fight this?
Hey, Blast. This looks like he's trying to get some information.
Yeah, he'll miss. Now they know who's up on top. Meanwhile, SK's farming up his 4-staff on the bottom lane.
I mean, everyone's just farming.
SF's just farming up the Ancients.
He's got BKB finish now on G.
Oh, boy.
So they can actually just... I think this is where they can just force a fight. They can probably just smoke and make their way into the Roche pit soon.
Do you go for Roshan, or is Tier 2 Tower / team fight like the easier objective?
They can do either, to be honest. Like, PA doesn't do anything in fights right now, so if they want to just go for that, they can. I think both situations are fine. Fighting on Roche pit can maybe be a little bit questionable versus Darkseer AA, but there's not really much else that Empire does have.
Does Miposhka actually die to this illusion just because of Poison Sting? Like, if the illusion kept up the chase. He's TPing out. He took 4 hits and went down to half-life. And almost none of that was from the damage of the actual illusion. It was all the level 4 Poison Sting.
Yeah. So they do try to take the Roche, but they're not really getting much information on the map. Afterlife is also pinging bottom. He's like, there's a huge wave bottom and no one's contesting it. But an Iron Shell did get applied, so he's like, okay, Darkseer was down here, but there's still heroes missing on the side of Empire. So they don't really know where they are, and Empire is smoked. And Vega knows something's up.
The real you will just do this with Plague Wards.
They're trying to make the engagement to G. He's got BKB finished, though.
Charge
get it
forward, the Gale, the Burrow Strike. The back wall might be nice, and maybe there's enough damage for him. In fact, oh, Requiem of Souls. It's the death one coming out. BKB protected FN perfectly. The Burrow Strike looked nice, so did the Nova, but they just keep going, Empire. Sustain is definitely their friend, and Chappie's first real Desolator attack is paying dividends. Venomancer should tick out to the Dragon Touch. And that's exactly what happens. 3 heroes down. Spirit Breaker the only loss. Again, Ghost Stick with a perfect combination. They didn't have a mech. They didn't have regeneration. All the damage. Boy!
Oh.
That's not nice.
They got the charge. The charge went fully through. They weren't able to stop it with either the Sanking or the Lion. The snowball, he like tried to snowball the Shadow Fiend after the Dragon Tail, but SF popped BKB when he was at like 400 HP. He was almost pretty much dead already by the time he got it off. I don't really know what happened to Vega that fight. I guess they just really didn't expect Empire to be there or something. Because that was... I felt like they would win that fight even if they got smoked on.
Silent needs a quick Hex. He's able to get it. Just turns in time for the Cold Feet's going to trigger. Afterlife comes in for the double Burrow Strike. A follow-up double Impale. Ancient Apparition will end up falling. Aegis the Immortal. It is killed off by Roshan.
And they're able to kill Slayer.
It's killed off by Roshan. It's killed off by Radiant.
Yeah.
And taken by Phantom Assassin.
Slayer tried to go in and contest the Roche, but he ends up dying before his team's able to get to him. But yeah, wow, I'm still like super. I want to go back and like rewatch that fight because it all happened so fast. I actually got some like chop on my screen. I didn't get to see everything that happened.
I'm afraid I do not have the technology here.
Yeah, yeah. It was a nice fight that comes out from Empire, but I'm still like, I'm wondering how Vega looked like they knew the smoke was happening, but then they let the charge go through and they don't even get the snowball on to save G. Because he snowballed him, and then by the time he comes out of the snowball, his BKB wasn't used anyway. I don't know.
I'm wondering if they were interrupted by the vac.
Something must have happened.
Because that's what it looked like. It looked like they all got ravaged at the same time as they got vacked.
Yeah.
Pulled into the wall, and all the early damage that they were doing was negated by the Darkseer when he ran in, triggered off his mech, and now he's gonna have pipe for the like a full pipe.
Yeah.
For the next fight.
The big thing is though that they deny the Aegis from Vega, and now it gives Chappie that leeway period where he gets a BKB. And now this is where PA is finally online. It's like 30 minutes. He's got his 2 items. Now he can actually be a relevant force in the game.
Nice observer ward down. They realize what's coming at him. Shot up the ramp, keep Chappie away, and plague wards are just everywhere at the moment. But Vega need to steady the ship. They still have the top 2 net worth. They still had a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Like, it was 12k worth of experience advantage. 8k was their gold advantage. This gold's going to start to dissipate as Empire will force towers more and more. In fact, they're already TPing up. Chappie is jumping up to the shrine. He wants to go for a kill. Thanks to the charge, they actually have the vision. They know where he is. Spirit Breaker bringing the detection. Dust is available. They'll break him free. There goes your ultimate. The Finger of Death plus the Requiem of Souls. Ice Blast causing issues for the Lion. But really only the Lion, who will still go down.
Oh, Slayer though. In a precarious situation.
And he's not going to get anything. The damage is too high. All they can do is try and spend as much of his money as possible.
Yeah. So they get the Spirit Breaker, but they lose 2 supports. And a BKB usage on the Shadow Fiend. So Vega has to watch how much they split up, though, because when they do split up like that, this is what Spirit Breaker does. He gets those he goes for those kind of pickoffs.
Is Tusker changing his items halfway through? Like
medallion.
He got the buckler, and I can understand like a casual buckler into Solar Crest. But I thought after the last couple of fights, like he would want mech. Maybe he doesn't have enough mana as well to run mech.
They're playing versus AA too, right? Like
yeah, true.
Getting mech is kind of not really the most fruitful thing. He maybe wanted to build it, went halfway through, and then he's like, wait a minute, we're versus AA. Or maybe he just wanted the buckler for the armor.
Just worried there, sustain is going to be too piss poor. That's the issue.
Yeah, he didn't choose to go for an urn on Tusk. I thought that's one option that I thought that he would go for.
That way, at least he can use it aggressively if he is hit by blast or save teammates.
Yeah.
But not the case. Instead, it's maneuverability for the Sand King, survivability for the Venomancer, looking to get a BKB as his next item.
That's pretty good. That's pretty decent. I really thought he'd go Halberd and be in that front line, but the AA seems to be causing more issues. The AA and the vacuum.
God's keeping his butterfly intentions pretty secret for the moment. It's only in his quick buy. But Chappie is looking at a Skadi as his next item.
Stats.
Stats and slow. FN, like someone's going to have to get an MKB at some point though. Unless you're just going to rely on like double RNG. I've got to hit my crit while I actually connect.
Yeah, he can build one afterwards if he wants to. Basher is usually the better option. But since he's versus so much magical damage, the stats are quite good this game. So we'll see which one he wants. Skadi MKB sounds pretty good though. Especially because he's probably expecting like Solar Crest and stuff to come out eventually.
Empire's on the aggression, pushing towards the mid tower.
Yep. Vega is waiting for this Aegis to tick out before they go take a fight. They still can definitely fight. I mean, they're still at a bit of an advantage. So
they got another 20 seconds or so before Aegis is gone. And PA's not going to get his opening.
So FN, level 18, well, level 19 now, so he's got a level 3 ultimate and he's got Blink Dagger. So he's got the catch and he's got the Ice Dragon.
Vega are headed down south now. It looked like they were going to smoke up for a second, but the smoke's being kept inside of Slayer's backpack.
Yeah, I think they're waiting out the Aegis, even though it is going to be timing out, or did time out, but also waiting out for the Butterfly on the Shadow Fiend since he's so close before they try to get on the aggressive. And the BKB on Veno. They're going to be getting like a lot of different items coming out at the same exact time. Afterlife, you've got a gem, dude.
Oh, he's going to get bounced down, and this is a Gem of True Sight lost. He came on a dewarding mission. went to the wrong cliffside and couldn't get back down.
Four-stepped himself forward onto the hill to try to deward that, but
Probably thought he was going to get out of there. He had both Blink Dagger and Burrow Strike still.
Yeah, but like, he's got the gem. That's such a risky move, especially when you're waiting on items from your two teammates. Like, he knows his Venom's waiting for BKB. He knows Shadow Fiend's waiting for Butterfly. He doesn't even need to risk himself. Like, if they really want to deward that, he can be like, hey, I think there's a ward here. Veno, get over here and put some wards down. Like, that's a big mistake there by Afterlife, giving up the gem and paying with his own life.
That opens up the mid lane for the tier 3 tower to be attacked.
That's such a big swing. Like, look at the net worth there. That drops from like almost 7k down to 3k.
Yeah, the graph hasn't even fully up. This
Yeah,
thing
it
is
hasn't even
so
updated yet.
damn delayed now.
It updates every minute, right?
I think it updates every more than that.
It's about every minute. Yeah, whatever. It's okay. We'll see the update soon. But we can see that, yeah, it was about 7k before that happened, and now it's like down to like 2,000 or 3,000. So that's the momentum that happens from those type of moves is massive, because it just gives them so much gold. Gives them the gem, and then they start picking up bigger items because they get more map control because they take a tier 2. Now Spirit Breaker has his own hood. He's going to be building another pipe, which hurts a lot versus the Epi and the Venomancer and the Shadow Fiend ulti. And Dragon Knight's building toward an AC and gets his level 20 for that 120 GPM talent. That's very costly death by Afterlife.
That Ice Blast being used for scouting now? Silent was in the trees. Could just be an animation glitch as well. Odd place for it to fly. But Empire inside their base while Vega are on the hunt. Burst damage is still their friend.
Yeah. And Butterfly was finished. And level 20 grabbed up by Venomancer. So yeah, Vega's still feeling pretty strong. They just lost a lot of momentum from not getting that Roche. And from giving up that gem.
So instead now they go for the tier 2 tower. And it's up to Team Empire. How they want to defend this. Hoping for a good stifling dagger against the Venomancer. But with his plus 75 damage and arming of Plague Wards, the real U is not that difficult for him to beat into the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, he kills it pretty easy.
Yep. And Empire's not looking to fight. Like, they still don't know where Vega is. They're vortexing around. But if they came in range to vortex the tree lines, the Ancient Apparition would be dead.
So PA switched his items, or her items. Went from Scotty, he's just going straight for the KB now.
Yeah.
So he got the immunity, the magic immunity, because he doesn't feel like he needs stats. He just needs to be able to bring down this Shadow Fiend.
He was still building the Skadi, like, or still looking to build the Skadi when he didn't actually see the items of SF.
Yep.
But because SF picked up the Eagle Song as well as the Quarterstaff a little bit ago, he had prior warning.
Yep.
But now the SF will have Lincoln Sphere as well, so defensive item for him. Not as great always, because you can use charge to trigger it.
Yeah, there's not a crazy amount of things that can break it though. It's Cold Feet, Charge, Nether Strike, and then PA abilities and Dragon Tail. I mean, there's a good amount of them, but blocking a lot of those is quite important. Like blocking Dragon Tail, even blocking the PA jump can be pretty relevant in fights. But yeah, there is quite a few things that they can break it from a distance, be it the Cold Feet and the Dagger.
I'm wondering how far Vega feel they can force this. They're going to 5-man smoke. They were out of range of any vision of Team Empire. But the area they're moving towards, like, obviously they want to secure the Roche area. They want to go for Roshan.
Yeah, this is a Roche smoke, for sure. They're
What?
doing, look at this. Okay, so they're expecting that Empire is actually going to be on that high ground there, and they're doing this huge wraparound. And now it looks like Empire wants to make a move of their own. I see a line drawn by Viposhka.
Yeah, I think they know they're wrapping around.
I think both teams know
I don't
where
know
each other are.
Yeah, they're playing perfectly. They understand the movement. Razors on top lane definitely tell you where God is. And now the line's been drawn by Empire. Well, either they come in that way or they go the other way. Roshan spawned up.
They've got high ground vision here for Empire. DK pops ulti. They're looking to engage right away.
On the Sentry Ward, DK jumps in. Ice Blast on the way. He's going to hit the Tusk at the back. Actually pulling him out of range. It may not matter. Actually, yes, it will. God just ripping in. Winding up the Requiem of Souls. Nether Strike going to cancel that. Let's go for round 2. It will blow up right in the face of Chappie. Takes so much damage. Lacquering it with the Epicenter. They have enough here. Vega through the Spirit Breaker. Through the Ancient Apparition. Until everyone is pushing up the daisies for Team Empire. Shadow Fiend was the sacrifice, but a sacrifice worth making.
Yeah, he just perched himself in the front line with the Venomancer. They expend everything to burst this Tusk right away. They get him. Of course, the Tusk gets nothing off, but even in a 4v5 engagement, Ghosted gets his spells off, gets like 3-shotted by Shadow Fiend, and then, yeah, the Venomancer ulti starts ticking up, and it's too much team fight coming out from Vega versus Empire when they expended so much to bring down a Tusk.
They're actually pushing into the top lane. They want to inflict damage into the tier 3 tower. They get fortification to come out. The rest of Team Empire will be spawning up shortly, but it's the 26 seconds until DK's alive. That's the more critical one. At least, actually, Cardi's still there. The catapult's still there.
It's getting a couple extra hits, too.
Yeah.
3.
Come on, Ghost Stick.
4.
You went for the 14 health regen. He doesn't
5 hits.
He doesn't have
does it get a 6th hit from the catapult? 6 hits. Oh, it did like 450 damage with the catapult there.
Count Fogula.
Yeah.
Slayer. Trouble. Oh! Crit hurts like hell. Spirit Breaker's charging in. Afterlife. He has Blink Dagger in 1 second, so if they push deep enough, they could have had him. But, I say, when they pushed deep, if Empire kept chasing, Vega would have had him.
Yeah. So how are the BKBs doing on Empire? It's 8 seconds for both. So they still have good windows when they do have their BKBs up. But as soon as those BKBs...
down to 7 seconds on the SF one.
Yeah, SF's to 7. But as soon as the BKBs are much more important for Empire. As soon as the PA's BKB wears off and the DK's BKB wear off, they're so squishy to the side of Vega. Vega also now scaling quite well on their supports. Slayer has the medallion he's building into the Solar Crest, and if you look at little old Silent, he's almost got a Halberd finished up on this Lion. So Halberd versus PA, probably one of the best counters to deal with him, but the evasion will not matter, at least because Chappie did finish up MKB.
Where did that... Okay, so Gem's an Afterlife. They sentry
So
because they're worried about being watched, but the Observer Ward from Vega, they saw everything. Like, literally everything. Shards come in, to reveal Roshan, Plague Wards around for a little bit of vision inside the pit as well.
Empire cannot fight there.
No.
That is a very hard place to fight. They do have the AC finished up now for DK as well, so they did get a couple big items after that top fight happened, even though they lost the engagement. They do have some nicely needed items.
I love how Halberd is the item.
I mean, it's going to be amazing
against the PA.
Yeah, it's so good versus PA.
He's got both Ghost Scepter as well as Halberd. Ghost Stick jumping in. BKB from the Venomancer connects on the Gal against the DK. Focusing on that one. Now FN. A lot of physical damage. The back wall. It connects on the line as well as God. He's winding up for the ulti where the damage is too high. He was killing himself literally from the Darkseer illusion. And it's Vega having the worst fight possible. In the mid lane, Ice Blast coming forward. Venomancer, however, charge him with the Mad Cow and slice him with the blades. Chappie will get a double kill. Vega are all dead, and Roshan will also go down. Huge, huge fight for Empire.
How did Sand King die? He just got blown up during the wall.
No idea, man. I don't know if it was the SF Illusion that was attacking him, but that SF did
the SF
so
Illusion
much.
Was doing work. That was a beautiful vacuum combo by Darkseer, but the Dragon Knight and PA just free-reigned attack to this fight. Lion and Sand King didn't get anything off in the engagement. Neither did really Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend popped BKB, tried to Requiem, just gets killed before that happens. So that was just like the perfect fight for Empire.
I would love to see, like, Darkseer Illusions don't count towards his damage. But the PA got 5.1k, 4.3k from the DK. And there was only 1k for the Darkseer.
How did that just happen? That's crazy.
It's a good question. Now, defense from Vega. The upside is they still have almost all of their abilities available. Requiem of Souls never got off. What they don't have available is their tier 3 tower and maybe even their melee racks. They do not want to have to buy back on an SF. He's got 8 seconds. These stuns, where's the combinations? You can shard, you can try and block them off, but that melee racks is gone. And out goes Team Empire. Shrines will be next on the list. Unless they TP out. Not going to happen, though. Empire already on top of the Roshan Shrine of Dire.
Yeah. Getting the Aegis and Cheese there is absolutely massive for Empire. That goes... Let's take a look at this swing. Oh, God. As expected.
It's a scoop, man.
Venomancer trying to start the fight in hindsight is probably not the greatest way to do it, even though he gets a Gale on the Dragon Knight. They need the stuns to start the fight.
God, the stolen gem. going to work for the Spirit Breaker as long as he can hold on to it. Tusker, Chappie with a BKB up. Tusker will fall. They don't actually have the detection, but maybe they have the damage. The fact, the wall, the Ice Blast, it's all being committed, and Vega get hit by almost all of it. Afterlife, stay in the trees where it's safe. You'll lose your tier 2 tower. Epicenter and Blink is available. God is brought back. They need something good from this fight. Plague Wards are still around. He'll hit in towards the DK, breaks the skin. Phantom Assassin, happy to die, has the Aegis more to go with, and God walked back into the Darkseer wall, so they got more of him to fight with. Another stun, going for the Lion. Venomancer has just enough range with the Hurricane Pike to get back into relative safety. But Team Empire are on the rampage. There's no Spirit Breaker. But there is a big-ass dragon wearing off now who still has cheese to work with. And a Phantom Assassin with BKB off cooldown in 10 seconds time.
My god, it's actually looking like Vega just straight up lost because of that last engagement.
Yep.
Because that mid-engagement, they lost all their momentum, and Empire with his PA. PA is, I mean, more than online now. He is pretty much unstoppable with this tanky DK in the front lines.
You said, like, sometimes he can snowball with kills. And that's exactly what's happened here. 2 lanes of ranks gone. They'll go for the last outer shrine for Vega. And that just leaves the last objective. Top tier 2.
One mistake is pretty much what cost it in this game from Vega.
Yeah.
One mistake in a team fight, the way that they initiate the fight, and Empire just capitalizes on it completely.
I love that sound effect.
The cheese.
Like, I swear they just took that out of The Simpsons or something like that. It's like, did they just put a donut into the mouth? Alright, Chappie. What else? Hang on. You talk about Chappie's items? He's got Diffuser Blade lined up. He's got Basher and an Ultimate Orb just sitting in him. What is going on here?
Hey, what's the ulti orb for?
I don't know.
Did he want a Lincoln's or something? Or did he want a Scotty as well later? And then he decided he wants a Diffusal now?
But he doesn't have a slot for both. Like, you'll have to get rid of the Ultimate Orb if he wants to pick up the Diffusal Blade.
I don't know, Toby.
Scotty is... like, it still makes sense. Like, it's a huge amount of stats to try and get through. Plus having the kite slow. Won't care about BKBs. Just odd.
It's probably the Scotty.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's Diffusal and Quick Buy. That's the... unless
He
you...
switched it, there we go.
Okay, it is Scotty.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Casual ulti orb.
Lincoln's actually wouldn't have been a bad choice either.
Doesn't do much,
It would have taken away that initiation, so we can't get caught with his pants down.
Yeah.
Lincoln's triggers trigger BKB, so there's no chance you lose your big PA, and he is worth a lot of money. If they can kill off Chappie, he's worth a crap ton of money.
Pretty tough to bring him down now, though. They need to pretty much chain all their CCs on him right away.
What is... Venomancer has a Demon Edge as well.
Does he have MKB finished?
He does not. Oh, actually, yes, he does.
Yeah.
There's 2 Javelins coming in on the courier.
He's trying to be that right-clicking core, because
Yeah.
they are... I mean, the thing is that they're just getting bum rushed, though. They're getting ran at so hard with the BKBs. The PA BKBs, the DK BKBs, and then Darkseer like Blink Vacuums, and the fight's just such a mess.
This could be a nice timing for God if they can get a favorable fight. Now he's got the double damage. Maybe not so easy when Ancient Apparition finishes up a full Solar Crest.
Yeah. He actually got items this game. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
He got the Glimmer Cape, though. So he did go for the Glimmer, and then he did go back for Solar Crest, too. So, hey.
They're
Covered
smoking.
nicely.
They want to fight with the DD rune. And it's like the only time they can do it. The creep waves are only barely just pushed out enough. The Team Empire won't realize something is wrong. But Chappie's position inside the pit. He can break a lot of smoke, but he has no vision of it when he does it. So it's like they're just waiting. They won't see anything. No one's pushing the top lane. Plague Ward's down. Okay, now they realize, yep. Fail smoke.
Uh-oh. Shadow Fiend.
Yep, they go straight home. The bash. And then you follow up Spirit Breaker. Ice Blast is on the way as well. It's going to connect on God. He won't take the damage, but he still took the chill. Venomancer, decent ultimate, hitting on 4, but they keep on fighting. FM blinking forward, hexed up. Epicenter on the back line. They might be able to kill him off. They do! Chappie will fall. The Venomancer tick combining with the Epicenter is enough, but really, Is the cost worth it? 3 heroes lost for Vega. A double burrow strike. It creates a little bit of space. Venomancer will buy back. Silent is trapped in the middle of nowhere. Wants to run away from this. They surge FN forward. He actually stops to attack Plague Wars and doesn't finish off the Lion. Alright.
They saw the buyback from the Veno. They got a little bit afraid for a moment.
If they kill off the top racks, they know what they win. Game 1 of this best of 3 winners bracket final, putting them into that grand final and 1 series victory away from going to the international and representing the CIS region. There's not many teams from that area this time around. Virtus Pro being the only direct invite, and only 1 team from the qualifier gets to go. Ancient Apparition needs help. Glimmer, he's holding it. Veno just keeps burning this BKB down to 5 seconds on it now. And the more they fight here, the more trouble they have at home.
Yeah. 2Rex is dead. 3rd tower brought down. Shadow Fiend dying back to back to back to back pretty much. I think, what, how many deaths was that in a row? Like 3 or 4, I believe.
It was
so
a lot.
He's just unable to really get back online versus this Empire Face Rush lineup.
It's not the ultimate sacrifice. Ancient Apparition and Spirit Breaker. Combined 19 deaths out of the 29 kills that Vega has achieved.
Yeah.
They take it for the team by running to the front lines.
Yeah, they have. They really have been. I mean, FN only has 1 death on Dragon Knight, which is fairly impressive, given what happened in the early mid game with Vega's pressure.
Check the mountain.
Yeah, I know.
At least
That one fight is pretty much that one big lineup.
FN's looking for an opening. Observable drops. They realize there's detection, and it's coming from Afterlife. The Burrow Strike, forced off and run away. Holding onto that Gem of Fizz. FN's happy as Larry, just pushing in the mid.
As happy as Larry.
Yeah. Well, he's got that. Well, he's got the heart up. What's really going to stop him? It's funny too that Poison Sting doesn't put it on cooldown.
Yep.
And Chappie now takes Roshan. Finish the Skadi. Looking to finish up his Abyssal.
Yeah.
Then they get the guaranteed control on the SF.
When they have Aegis Cheese, it's going to be way too much for Vega to handle.
He actually dropped his BKB. We'll take the Aegis.
He put it in his backpack, yeah,
Yep.
so he can just switch it in when the Aegis pops and then use it.
Makes sense considering you kind of want to use the BKB after your Aegis is gone.
Yeah.
SP. Charges on. He had vision of 1, and it's the SF on the bottom lane. With the Dire Observer Ward and the Plague Ward both seeing him make the move.
Vega ideally wanted to win this game by now, because they're playing versus a PA. The Dragon Knight is also quite a big problem, because of just how durable he is. And they don't really have the damage to chunk through him. They need to isolate him pretty hardcore now. But yeah, they ideally didn't want this game to get to the point where the PA is max slotted, because dealing with PA like this is super difficult if he just jumps into your back lines.
Have you ever seen anyone get this double stifling dagger? That would have been like over the agility. Does make a hell of a lot of sense.
Nah, it's not very good. It looks
Epicenter,
funny.
Afterlife gonna bring in the damage. Needs to get to the back lines, but he got stunned up. The charge came through. Requiem of Souls, maybe. No, it's not enough. Ice Blast connects perfectly. Everyone's gone, and that is the ball game right there. Team Empire claim game 1 against Vega. Could have been faster, but probably the only way would have been is if Vega were forced to keep their pudge they drafted in the first part of the game.
Yeah, I mean Vega, they showed some really good moves in this game, but then it was some bizarre things that happened. Like they knew that the smoke was coming out from Empire. Like they positioned themselves on the high ground and they allowed the charge to go through like 3 or 4 heroes. The snowball came out a bit late, so SF doesn't get his BKB off in that one crucial fight. He dies. Then the Roche gets taken by Empire. Then Afterlife has a gem, and he gives up the gem too. It was just like these mistakes that came out from from Vega that looked like they were pretty avoidable. It looked like Vega actually had this one in the bag until those 2 big fights happened, and Chappie was able to get Deso. Then he gets an Aegis, and then that's the downtime they need for him to get his BKB. And then when they both have BKB, the fights just looked super hard for Vega.
Alright, well, we'll say farewell to Dota TV viewers at this point, because I have to close the game to look at the stat screen. Unfortunately, Valve have never fixed that problem since then. But for everyone on the live stream, here's your scoreboard. I know you love to see it at the very, very end.
Ghosted came in clutch, I gotta say. He got some beautiful combos with the AA Blast. I felt like he was always hitting like 2, 3, 4 heroes or something with the vacuum into AA Blast.
His
so
timing as well, like it always worked with a Spirit Breaker charging in, like, and then FM was right on the money, having that blink dagger nice and early.
They had good cohesion. They definitely had a little bit better synergy this game and better teamwork than Vega did overall. Vega had a great start though, great early game. I liked their draft as well, just a couple mistakes kicking in and falling behind.
Yeah, if Chappie didn't have as much success catching up to, like, I think that game could have been a very, very different story.
Yeah,
just for the fact, like, when he jumped in, they were able to lock down the SF with the, like, it would be a bash hits or just the crits. So God was forced into a Requiem when he didn't want to, and it always seemed like God was having to do the Requiem after the initiation already happened. So it's like I'm halfway through the fight, I've done a couple of raises, now a Requiem, never the initiator, always the counter.
Yeah.
So it was a rough run for them. But that'll be game 1 going the way of Team Empire. We'll be back after a short break. Game number 2, will Empire take the clean sweep and advance to the grand final? We'll find out.